Then on the spur of the moment, we decided to drive to PretoriusKop, and we took the H1-1 road, and which we followed, had a look at the lookout copy on the route there, and then we continued on the second part of the road, turned slightly right towards PretoriusKop, and let's go and have a look at how the road is looking and the camp is looking at PretoriusKop. And here's the main gate at Skukuza, and actually it's not very impressive. I would imagine that some of the other camps have more impressive gates, but look at the signage, that's impressive. You can see it's very busy. And let's have a look at the road now. And as you can see, I'm pointing the camera towards the sky. What the heck am I doing that for? Simply because the air quality wasn't so good. There was a bit of smoke around. You could actually still smell faint traces of it. It was just a little bit unexpected, actually. We're standing on a lookout point, a little copy between Skukuza and PretoriusKop. And as you can see, there's the vastness of the Kruger National Park. It's late in August in 2024, pretty dry. There's been no rain for a couple of months, and we've had some very good sightings the last couple of days, but certainly extremely dry. If you stay in or near a city and you visit the Kruger National Park for the first time, you'll be quite amazed at the nothingness. It's quite strange, actually, just staring out across this vast open spaces and not seeing a thing. Actually quite mind-blowing. There's an extremely large area of burnt out grass and trees between Skukuza and PretoriusKop, and you can see it's certainly not nice. We weren't expecting any animals in this desolate, burnt out bushveld area, but apparently there were some lions lying in the distance. I'm not sure, good heavens, if they've been able to catch something, but just, having animals in this area was actually, to me, quite a miracle. Matter of fact, we hardly saw any animals during our whole trip from Skukuza to PretoriusKop. And as you can see, that's actually two lions lying there. So in general, it's going to take a couple of years for this bushveld to recover with good rains. And I'm not sure if it's really worthwhile taking that specific road. You might just be lucky seeing an animal like the lions there. But in general, we had much better sightings next to the Sabi River between Lower Sabi and Skukuza. And as we drove towards PretoriusKop, and we are just about at the camp now, it's about 50 kilometers and just about maybe an hour, hour and a half of drive time. And if you stop and watch some animals, It might even take you 2 hours. But as we approach Pretoriuskop, you can see that the air is a bit cleaner and the grass and the bushveld is more normal looking for winter periods. And let's have a look at Pretoriuskop. Pretoriuskop is the oldest rest camp in the Kruger National Park, and let's have a look. And here are we entering through the gate at Pretoriuskop. Now, Pretoriuskop is actually named after Willem Pretorius, who was an old voortrekker leader and the first elected president of the South African Republic. Now, the history of the camp dates back to the early 1900s, when the Kruger National Park was actually established as a protected area to conserve the wildlife and the habitats of the region. Now, as you enter through the gate, you find reception on the left, and through the right, you'll find the sightings board, and you'll find information about the camp. But if you carry on with the road, you're going to get to the garage area and the restaurant and the various chalet and camping areas. And let's take a quick drive through the camp and just look at what the camp has got to offer. So the chalets are all looking reasonably well maintained. And I must say, I don't see too many big trees, so shade might be a little bit of a problem. But I suspect it's got to do with the fact that some 3,500 million years ago, apparently some molten rock forced its way through the earth crusts and solidified in the area to form spectacular granite outcrops where PretoriusKop today is now basically situated. And not far away from PretoriusKop, there's an impressive granite dome as well called Shabeni Hill. And yes, we weren't there, but it's apparently something to see. And as you can see, there's different huts and chalets available, and it all has to do with the different types of accommodation that you wish to book. But certainly it is a bit tricky to get the right chalet and the right accommodation booked, in my opinion. And we are now heading to the restaurant for something to drink or to eat, and let's have a look at that. This is the parking area in front of the restaurant, and let's go and see what's available. Right, so in PretoriusKop you have the Wimpy restaurant there, and it was certainly nice and cool inside. We had something to drink only, simply because we've been up for quite a long time, and yes, an hour and a little bit to there, and another hour and a little bit back. It was getting a bit late in the day, and this is the area in front of the restaurant, some children's area. And on the way back, we saw a lone tortoise crossing the road, but it was just quite amazing for me. Again, I had to stop. I just felt terribly sad on how the bushveld looked. There was nothing. Great areas of just burnt out grass. It must have been a terrible veld fire to have caused so much devastation. water is essential for life, and this was about the only dam with some visible water that we saw in close proximity to the main road between Skukuza and PretoriusKop.